All right, what's up? It is KB with KBBC Internet Takeover. I'm just going to jump right into this shit. All right. So first off, I have to talk about this because Brian BC he talked about it, even though I really don't want to talk about it because I don't feel like there's enough information on it. It is a Tekashi 69 whole indictment, arrest, all that bullshit. I waited a little bit of time to talk about it simply because I wanted to know more information before I say anything. Because it's a serious case, and I feel like uh, I think there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of bullshit happening. I think the only thing we really can do is wait. But there are some things about character wise that we can kind of talk about. Like for one, there's a few things that I don't like about how this all is kind of shaken out so far, and it has more to do with the people than anything. One, that little clout chasing ass lawyer that is making all these Instagram videos so he could get his followers. You pathetic as fuck. You really pathetic, bro. Like, stop doing that. Like, you don't make yourself look credible. I don't trust no lawyer that wears a black suit and a red tie. You are not gonna convince me that I'm gonna win a case wearing that shit. Second off, your hair's too greasy, bro. Stop talking about that shit. You're not making yourself look reputable at all. I'm a comedian. We supposed to talk about stupid shit, you know. So yeah, and he's not even giving like really good information. Everything he says is shit that we could read on the news or whatever, and he's just speculating. And then the whole thing about the whole I just saw a video where I guess he was referencing how um TMZ leaked something about a hit being made or blah 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 blah. Just go fuck yourself, dude. Like, I don't really want to hear you talk about it. You got a little play because he was on the Shade Room, and now you just trying to milk it. Like, get the fuck out of here. And that's the other thing is that man, the news cycle on this story has been absolutely ridiculous. Jordan Towers, Diamond's Life, all them motherfuckers have been uploading so incredibly much that it is it leads to these whack ass conspiracy theories. It leads to people thinking exactly what they think, which initially people thought it was fake. And it's the way that we get information. So those are the couple of things that I noticed. The other thing is the rhetoric that's happening with this whole narrative of him being like, "Oh, he's just a kid. He's just a kid." Here's my whole thing about that. At 22, I was teaching, held down a job, had my own place. At 22, you're not a kid anymore, man. There are 22-year-olds that are entering their profession right now. There are 22-year-olds that have a kid in the family. There are 22-year-olds that are getting married. There are 22. Let's stop using the rhetoric of kid. If it was a 22-year-old woman and she slept with 100 people, y'all would be like, "Oh, she's such a slut." You wouldn't say, "Oh, she's just a kid trying to figure her way out." Y'all wouldn't say that. You'd be like, "Oh, she's such a slut. She's such a hoe." Da 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 da. Same way with Bobby Schmurder. Bobby Schmurder was young when his shit went down. I didn't hear nobody be like, "Feel sorry for the kid, such a young kid." Nobody. Tekashi 69, I don't know if y'all have picked up on this. Every single interview that he's ever been in, he's always referred to himself as a kid and everybody else as a grown ass man. These grown ass men got kids. Motherfucker, you got a kid. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, you got a kid. You are a grown ass motherfucker as well. So stop trying to front like you're not. And so now everybody's taking that rhetoric. He's a master at manipulating, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That's what marketing is. But he's not a kid. He's a grown ass man. I don't care what Joe Budden, nobody, anybody, everybody keeps saying he's a kid. When it's young dudes, we gotta let it slide because they young. They're kids. They don't know any better. When it's a young woman, that ain't the same. They don't get that same shit. If it's a young black dude, they don't get that same shit. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done with that. He's a young kid. The other thing is, y'all kids need to understand when grown folks tell you something, why you think Fat Joe and all them other people was trying to tell them something? Because they went through it. They lived through it. And you think you know. You don't have to make the same mistakes. Like, for somebody to give you game, they don't even have to take time out to really give you game. So if somebody is giving you game, sometimes you just need to you need to listen. So and karma, baby, karma always come back to bite, man. So like, remember what you put out there is what you'll get tenfold. When you think all you just doing is taking W's, if you with those W's you putting out negativity and fuck shit, it's gonna come back to bite you. And boom, there it is with Tekashi 69. And low key, the other thing is some of y'all young people, y'all I grew up in the 90s. I was 90s kids born in the 80s, 90s kids. I done watched friends. I remember 12 going to school and finding out my friend was shot in the face. You know what I'm saying? This is not it's not a game. So like people really need to be aware that like you could troll online, but it's really not a game. The other thing is that all these people like, oh, Daniel, it's the difference between Daniel Hernandez and Tekashi 69. Tekashi 69 doesn't even know the difference. So you trying to split hairs, trying to fix it for him, fuck that. There's too many examples in history at this point of how not to fuck up in the game. So, you know what I'm saying? And people are gonna be like, oh, you being judgmental. Nah. If I was some white suburban kid that had no clue what it was, then that'd be a different story. But I'm not. Okay? I'm not. I'm a grown ass person. I wouldn't be up there screaming Treyway at a concert. Like, just not. Like I just so that's my whole take on it. You know, everybody giving the whole like, oh, we don't want to see people go down like that. I don't want to see wrongfully accused people go down like that. You know what I'm saying? Like all this energy put into Tekashi 69, there's been people who've been murdered, murdered this week, murdered by the gentleman in Alabama, murdered by the cops, and not even the right person. And we giving energy to some dude who trolled and did fuck shit and thought it was cool to be a part of that culture. Nah, I'm keeping my prayers and my energy for people who understand it, who accept it, who appreciate it, who really trying to do their thing. So that's my whole take on the Tekashi 69 shit.